So, today we're going to be deconstructing a really fascinating and honestly pretty strange piece of writing that's been making the rounds online. Now, look, we're not here to judge its claims or say if it's true or not. What we are going to do is take it apart piece by piece to understand its rhetorical strategy, to see how it's built to persuade. Let's dive in. Right out of the gate, from the very first line, the author pulls two really powerful moves. First, you've got this mysterious code, JAI, SRI, RAMA, which just immediately makes you wonder, what does that mean? And second, there's a direct command to a very specific audience, if you are a girl. This creates this immediate sense of exclusivity, like you're about to be let in on a secret, but only if you're part of the chosen few. So, to really get how this whole argument is constructed, we're just going to walk through it step by step. We'll start with that secret code, then we'll look at the absolutely massive promise it offers. After that, we'll examine the specific path you're supposed to follow, get into its core philosophy, witness the dramatic climax of it all, and then wrap up with the urgent call to action at the end. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning with that initial hook. Because the author doesn't just, throw an idea out there. They present a puzzle and then position themselves as the only one who has the key. What's so clever about this is how the author immediately sets themselves up as an authority figure. They take this phrase and just assign it these deep spiritual meanings. They're not just a writer anymore. They're a guide, a decoder of secret knowledge. And as you can see, each piece of the code gets linked to a major Hindu deity or concept. And this is where it gets really smart. Right after defining the code, the author asks a question that they know you, the reader, probably can't answer yes to. Can you truly experience these massive cosmic forces? By setting you up to think, no, they create a problem, right? A spiritual gap that, conveniently, they are perfectly positioned to fill. So, now that the problem is established, this idea that you can't really experience the divine, the author swoops in with the solution. And let me tell you, it is not a small one. I mean, the scale of this promise is just intentionally breathtaking. We are not talking about a little personal enlightenment here. The author is promising to change the future of the entire cosmos. This is designed to hit you right in that deep desire we all have for purpose, to be part of something truly monumental. And this is a really key move. That grand cosmic change is framed as something that starts with your personal transformation. The author's claiming their plan is the only way to get this ultimate spiritual experience, which directly connects your own journey to the fate of the entire world. So, how in the world is all this supposed to happen? Well, the author provides what looks like a clear step-by-step process, but really, it's all designed to build dependency on them. You see how this works? The path starts with something that sounds tangible, a physical object and a ritual. But watch how quickly it shifts. Steps 2, 3, and 4 all depend entirely on the author whispering a secret mantra to you. This whole structure means the follower simply cannot proceed without the guide. Okay, this is a really crucial piece of the author's logic. It's this strange, almost poetic analogy, but it serves a very important rhetorical purpose. It links the physical act of hearing a secret from the guide to the profound, mystical act of creating something inside you. It makes the guide's words literally life-giving. This whole process, this whole journey, is held up by a central philosophy that the author lays out. And it's a philosophy that's built on a really stark duality. So, right here, the author creates this core conflict. You have the below, which is linked to Mother Earth and the womb, and it's presented as something whose knowledge needs to be disabled. And then you have the above, representing Father Sky and the Creator, which is the ultimate goal. The message couldn't be clearer. One has to be sacrificed for the other. And there it is, the instruction that comes right out of that philosophy. The language here is so powerful and direct. It frames this kind of self-denial not as a choice, but as a necessary transaction you have to make to get to a higher consciousness. The path to freedom, they say, requires binding a part of yourself. And this whole philosophy of sacrifice and control, it all leads directly to the most shocking and transformative step in the author's entire plan. So the entire journey from the secret code to the whispered mantras to binding the knowledge of the below, it all culminates in a physical act with the guide themselves. Within this framework, this isn't just a physical act. It's being positioned as the final, absolutely essential key that unlocks the entire spiritual puzzle. And what's the supposed result of all this?
the awakening of the Kundalini, a powerful concept of divine energy believed to be coiled at the base of the spine. By tying their path to a known concept in Hindu spirituality, the author tries to give this highly unconventional step a little bit of mystical legitimacy.
And listen to how this experience is described. It's so visceral, so supernatural. The author isn't promising some vague feeling of peace. They're promising a tangible, physical, and extraordinary event inside your own body. The feeling of entangled snakes swirling inside you. And the ultimate reward for all of this is presented as this incredibly complex vision, a triune, three-part understanding of the Creator that you experience personally, inside yourself. The very complexity of this idea reinforces the notion that you need a special guide to even understand it, let alone achieve it. So, after laying out the secret, the promise, the path, and the final reward, the author concludes with what you'd expect, an intense and urgent call to action. It's the final pitch. I mean, this is straight out of the Persuasion playbook, right? You tap into those universal anxieties we all have about mortality and meaning, this life is short, and then bam, you immediately present yourself as the one and only solution. It's a really potent mix of existential dread and exclusive hope. And make no mistake, the call here is for nothing less than total commitment. By asking for followers who can devote their life, the author is basically recruiting for a mission. It creates the feeling of a chosen community, set apart from everyone else for a world-changing purpose. And finally, to top it all off, a deadline is imposed. The author actually uses their own humanity, their own mortality, to create a sense of urgency. The message is crystal clear. This is a limited-time offer. This opportunity to save the cosmos is fleeting, so you have to act now. So, from a mysterious code to an urgent, time-sensitive plea, this text is really a masterclass in a certain type of persuasive rhetoric. It finds a need, it provides a massive solution, it creates complete dependency on the guide, and it uses urgency to force a decision. So by deconstructing it, we're not really left with an answer, but with a pretty big question to think about. What is it about the promise of a hidden truth that continues to hold such a powerful appeal for people?